Oh, start over. I just turned the mic on.
Oh, hey. Good, because that was embarrassing when I didn't know where to look. And
No,
I
yeah,
was
you
like,
gotta look at that one.
and I asked like, "Hey, how you doing?" And
Don't look at
nobody
this one.
answered. I
It
know
does say it's
it's.
on, but
Anyways,
don't do it.
hey, how we doing? This is another installment of Roll for Revelry. This is a DM session kind of chat about D&D. I guess it's not really DMs specific, but
Yeah.
we're gonna just kind of chat and talk about some D&D stuff. My name is AJ. I am your friendly neighborhood dungeon master for Roll for Revelry, and
I am Dan. I play Marxus, King of the Rodarians.
King of the Rodarians. Correct.
New title.
Yeah.
New title.
Did you say working title?
Thank you, LFC87. AJ is so dreamy.
Oh, thanks.
He's such a dreamy boy.
So, if you do have any questions or anything else like that in chat, feel free to shout them out. Maybe we'll chat about it. But yeah. So for starters, on our list of topics, basically, I want to sit down with you and ask you how you liked our last session. I know we kind of talked about that last on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was
I liked it.
yeah.
I liked it. Not only did I love it because Marxus was crowned a king, but he eviscerated a former king who we found out was an aberration. He played with trigger warning for gore. We'll give 5.
Yeah, I did not give a countdown on the thing.
Marxus totally obliterated and played as cats do, play with toys. And the toys were the organs of a king of, I'm just calling it Rodaria because they are Rodarians.
Sure.
We could call it Rhode Island. I don't really, we can call it whatever we
I
want.
don't know if we want to call it that.
No, smallest state in the union. Get at us besides Hawaii. Oh, wait. Is Rhode Island larger than Hawaii?
Yeah, no.
Shoot.
I don't know.
Somebody Google that for us. Oh, wait, we don't have interns. Jerry, Google it.
If you want to intern for us, let us know.
We have tons of money to not pay you.
Yeah.
No, I loved the session. I really liked the going from the previous session to this last session. Like, so 2 sessions ago into last session, we really threw a curveball at the DM, which is exactly what I think that most DMs may not like, for all those like railroady style DMs out there. We really said, hey, no, we could go this way, which is probably the way to the tavern that we want to go to, which was like the 2 double story dive, or the 5-star flagon or whatever it was. And Cato was absolutely right. He went and looked after we went on our path. But we floated down into the city, and then all of a sudden you were like, oh shit, now I must make a whole city. And knowing you and your ADHD, like,
True.
You loved the prep, I'm sure. Because you were like, all right, cool. There's a dock area. They are hiding in, like, a kid's fort of a dock, basically. Like a blanket fort. And side quest. When was the last time you made a blanket fort?
Oh, I don't know.
I can answer that. Last time I made a blanket fort was when I was 27.
Okay.
And I'm currently 32.
Yeah.
It was incredible, and all of the roommates, except for the one roommate that helped me build it, hated it. And we just hung out in it, and can we say we smoked weed on live stream? Is that?
I think you just did.
Okay, well, we smoked weed in it, and it was a magical experience. Side quest completed.
Yeah.
50 XP. But you had to create this entire city, the subterranean city of rat folk, the Rodarians, and it started off as we met a scurrying group of rats that all scurried away, and the one that was left, we were like, you help us? And he was like, yeah, sure, I'll help you for free. You don't even have to complete a quest. It's totally cool. I'll just help you. And that whole thing kind of set me uneasy, because it's like, nobody does, if you're good at something, never do it for free, right?
Yeah.
And this guy was this rat folk was very clearly helping us for free, and that really sets me on an uneasy tilt. And then we ended up sneaking through this city. I made this child rat creature, rat humanoid, drunk off of one Fey Frambois, which was not the smartest thing to do, but it was the funnest. And we ended up sneaking through everything and sweet talking the guards, which is always fun. And well, we didn't. What was its name?
Who?
Canlin?
The little mouse guy?
Yeah.
Carvin
Maskovitz. No, it's not his last name.
No, it's not.
What is his last name?
His last name is like, I think it's Everkind or something like that.
Well, that tracks.
Yeah.
Because he was Everkind. And then going from this, all right, cool. We're going from the docks to the Myers to this kind of outskirts of the city where they bring in supplies, and there's some nefarious supplies that are brought in by smugglers, and we met a possible smuggler who ended up being like a neutral-ish kind of party, it felt like, and being like, hey, like, I profit from this, but I don't really care about the people kind of thing. I'm just here to make a buck. And it's kind of set us on this thing where, like, all right, do we go and help this smuggler, or do we go and talk to the king right away? And then we had like that a little bit of paralysis where it was like, well, do we need the king's permission kind of thing? Like,
Yeah.
either way, we would just take the permission because we are boat folk. And it ended up being like this larger discovery that maybe you had this discovery for us set up, as in this king was an aberration. Maybe that was something that you already had set up, for in another town somewhere, or maybe it was in Holden or something. And then, like, was that like a retcon kind of thing where you, like, in your DM prep, where you had like, this is what I'm going to do, but now they're in this city, the subterranean rat folk city, Rhode Island. And like, how did that kind of come up? It's a little bit different than I would imagine when we went thrift shopping.
Yeah.
And we came across the animated armor and the mimic, and, how did that kind of come up?
So the way, whenever I'm like, all right, cool, they're near a city, my world building technique for city building basically is I find a pre-generated map.
Okay.
I play around, I find randomized maps. I find one that I like. I can maneuver and manipulate them, and there's a couple different websites I use for that. But I'll find an app, and basically just give me a city, because I don't really care what's in it, and if I do care what's in it, I can move it around. But I take that city, and then I'll start filling it with districts, and then I say, all right, cool, what does this district do? Based on its name, it's this, and Meyer is like, I think of like,
It is your perfect
Bog.
Michigan Super Center.
I think of a bog, so I was like, all right, cool, that's gonna be the docks. That's gonna be the closest thing to the docks, because, and then basically moving around that city, I can start filling in and fleshing out, and like starting on the city world, like city level districts. What's in the district? What does the district do? Why does it do what it does? And then kind of do small little bit of world building there. And when I do world building, I'm like filling it with like 3 details, 2 shops. I typically, if you guys are like looking for a specific thing, and it's a very basic thing, if you guys are looking for daggers, or if you're looking, you can go to the store and find daggers. It's a shop that's particular, that's when I give it character. That's when we role play it. That's when I like to add something there, in that it will be something that you want to return to, whether it be a magic shop. There's not a lot of magic shops in our world, or at least where you guys are at right now. And that kind of goes with like couple things is I want you guys' magic. I want you guys to figure out your characters before you figure out magic items with your characters. And then it kind of goes with the theme of where you guys are currently at. It's a triarchy. It's a monarchy run by 3 individuals that rotate in and out of seats of power, and they were mages of the previous empire, and so they want to hold magic. They want to control the magic in their realm. So that's that.
As far as the king being an aberration and being part of like a sinister plot, was that something that's, and Marxus is clearly not here,
Yeah.
but is that something that was happening in like another town and you kind of retconned it into Rhode Island, or was it a subterranean Rhode Island, or was it a something that you just kind of came up with on the fly?
I had been, I don't know how I came up with that. Can't remember. I had to think of like how are you guys going to get out? And I was like, all right, cool. Tunnels. Smuggling tunnels. This city is low on goods that you would receive from the surface because there's not a lot of trade because there's fear of surface dwellers. Okay, if you take that, then you can give it a bad guy. Why aren't they not allowed to reach the smuggler's tunnel? No problem. Let's say there's a, Rat King is a cool thing. King. Down below is run by a king. Let's make him malevolent somehow. If you
say that one more time.
Malevolent.
There you go. Nailed it.
If you give him if you get any person of power a bad purpose, it can either be manipulated one way or another. But like the world below is actually like functional and good, so to speak. So when you have to give them a reason why there's a switch, there's a change. So I started working around and being like, all right, cool. What are some cool creatures and monsters and things that might influence? They're underground. Regionally, that kind of brings in some more aberrations. If they were above ground and there was that, maybe Fae.
Okay.
Like charming or maybe that there's a demonic presence, an incubus or a succubus or something like that above ground. There could be like a celestial influence.
It's like one of the floating cities.
If it was one of the floating cities, if it's a mountainous region, and those would be like loops that you can throw people that are not in like there's that are not traditional, that are not, oh, there's a dragon in this mountain, and that's and there is that, and there's the like that's cool, but I also have the privilege that you guys don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons.
Truth.
I mean, you know more than they do, but like Bob's Googling aberrations and then's like Mind Flayer. Oh, I recognize that from Stranger Things, and that's it. And like that's all you know. It's like, oh, cool, because you caught season 2. Like that's
Don't even
that.
Get started on a Demogorgon, bro.
Yeah, right. So when I can dive into all these monsters, I can just kind of use them as they are. I don't have to manipulate them, but that's a really good idea for somebody that is metagamey, or you have a group of individuals that are like at work, we're playing a rotating series of dungeon masters. So everybody is a dungeon master. Everybody gets 2 sessions. Everybody has a character in the same party, and we're rotating around. With them, you can't run like I don't want to say too much because I don't want you to learn these things, but I know you'll play it well. But like everybody knows a beholder has like a cone of anti-magic. You're getting glanced at. That's that. Here's thinking of glances in sight. Think about like a what is it, Medusa. It's kind of common knowledge if you know a little bit of mythos or seen some movies. You know Medusa turns people to stone. Cool. How do you like zhuzh that up so that it's not as foreseeable, or how do you change it so that it's a unique experience for people that are aware of the game and can metagame and know how to do and like know of it? And that's another thing. Coming back to the king, kind of making it an aberration is helpful because nobody really knows. You guys haven't had that experience before.
Yeah, like when we were down in the tunnel, like I think it was Kata that did either somebody did like some type of magical means that was like, oh, this is an aberration. Okay, what does that mean? Kind of thing. And like, nobody here has read through every page of the DM's guide. Nobody here has read. Well, you have. Nobody in our adventuring party has really like gone into that, and then you get Bob as Kata like looking up these things like in his ranger mind compendium.
Yeah, right.
Essentially, just kind of being like, I've seen so many creatures.
That's kind of
Let me
Bob.
index.
That's
this
kind
a
of
little
Bob,
bit.
though. That's so
Yeah.
Bob. But it's a good thing. He. I mean, like, if you guys want to look up everything, cool, go for it. Or we can play that game too. You know, like I just said, there's ways around that. So yeah, if you have metagamers, I would suggest, or anybody that's like really into it, diving into it, and wants to read about the monsters, like give them the monster manual, but just change stuff up. That's all you have to do. You can change whatever you want. It's just, you know, it's just written in a book, but it's not written as the law.
And that's full disclosure. Had a couple electricians at the house today. Had a couple electricians over to the studio. That was nerdy, but I'm gonna take it and go with it. One of them, we got to talking as they were walking in. They're friends, and they were talking about like, oh, they play board games, and like they had mentioned D&D as they were like walking into the house to each other. They're kind of like us. They play with their partners.
They didn't see this.
No, they did. They were like, and I showed them the case that you made me with the dragon and the Viking, and they were like, their eyes got all really big, and like they're electricians, like they have some disposable income. So I was like, oh, if you want to hit up this local company, telling you, they're doing some really cool things, already blowing up. They're the coolest company you have not heard of. And I literally said, Dogmite, and they were like, you could see like the gears turning a little bit. And like they had seen like maybe a couple episodes of Critical Role, and like obviously seen Stranger Things, and like the Disney Pixar movie Onward, which is, did you know that game in Onward is an actual game you can play?
In Dungeons and Dragons?
No, it is its own. It is its own standalone
Oh,
game
really?
called like Medieval Yore or something. I can't remember what it's called, but kind of want to play that, or at least like kind of one-shotty it a little bit.
Yeah.
But was just like talking with them, and they were like, yeah, we saw the setup downstairs, like you're kind of serious, and be like, well, we like to think we are, you know, everything else comes with time, but we're doing all the little things right. And speaking of doing all of the little things right, how much did you hate it when we fought an entire Kingsguard in the throne room?
I didn't know how that fight was gonna go. Like, I knew I didn't want them to kill you right away. Like, it wasn't like, oh, we're just gonna stab you all and you're dead. That's like, A, that's lame, and B, I don't think that would be the purpose. That's not the point. And it may be alluding to that aberration style, but like they wouldn't want you all dead. Then, and this is a little selfish, but like, and then I was like, oh, we'll throw them in the pit because I have a cool ass monster for the pit, so that they can fight a cool ass monster. And I'll give them like a a Rancor situation where you get thrown
Yes,
in the pit.
absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta fight a big old
Absolutely.
thing behind a door.
The
So
second
yeah,
best part of the Solo standalone movie, Solo, was fighting the, I believe it was, Chewbacca was in a Rancor pit as well.
Was it?
Or it was a very similar situation. I think it might have been a baby Rancor. Anyway, sorry. go on.
Rancorette. But yeah, so that was, I was like, all right, cool. Let's lean towards this, and we'll see where they go and what happens. And then I was just like, all right, cool. They're not gonna kill them all, and we'll try to basically push for contesting strength checks. And I mean, we can talk about Railroad versus open world sandbox stuff in a little bit if you want, but
No plans.
that aspect was just like it wasn't a great idea, because then I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna roll all these checks and roll all this stuff, and then I just started batching things and say like, all right, what would happen? Certain amount of guards would gang up on certain amount of people. Makes sense. Let's have that go. And when you have that, obviously there's some wins and some losses, and your wins were like basically you were contesting strength checks against somebody that has like 5 times advantage, because like I'm rolling for each of them and they're all on you guys, and sure enough, you started pulling some hot moves and intimidation checks and pouncing and all this other stuff, and you were able to subdue the king, and then at that point they were like, all right, come on, calm down everybody, and then you took things a little further, and
Oh, King
Where we're at-
backtrack.
where
Back
we're at
at it
now.
again.
but yeah, so it was it's definitely like those improvised moments, and I can kind of like I said, like kind of lean one way or the other, and I prepare for like the area too. I have, I don't know, my theater of mind as we're playing is the way I can quickly set up a board. Who you're around, I can grab a slew of minis for bad guys. They don't even need to match. They can just be like, all it is representation. We could use rocks, we could use dice.
Yeah, we definitely don't have enough dice.
Yeah, when you're kind of thrown for a loop like that, into like trying to react to a choice that a character made, and then it just puts a lot of taxing effort, I would just try to like simplify everything. And that's why, I didn't have everybody fighting, which reduces their actions to just one strength check. I batched them out so that there were now 4 strength checks instead of 20. And like slowly it got easier and easier for me to manage a room full of what is 25 people.
On top of probably
So, yeah.
more guard, like realistically more guards on the way. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like, you're
yeah,
stuck.
yeah.
It's like we only have X amount of time before this happens.
Yeah.
Kind of going off on that theater of the mind, I would like to applaud one specific action by you this past session. Was the when the guards that Orla was being like, oh yeah, we gotta go this way, follow me, and then the guard passed out for whatever reason, can't exactly remember why, and
You guys put them to sleep.
yes, one of them.
The guard, yeah. And then
you immediately, something happened where it's like, oh my god, is he allergic to something? And you were like, he's lactose intolerant, and then that turned into like an entire episode essentially on lactose intolerant guards and how they are mammals, mammal humanoids, rat humanoids who are who this one is lactose intolerant, and
People are lactose intolerant.
that's
You know,
yep.
cats are lactose intolerant.
That's always going to be funny to me.
Yeah.
It's like saying a cat that's allergic to like chasing mice.
Yeah.
Like
It's definitely that's like one of those moments where you guys include on the adventure, and that's like the mutual storytelling, and like you're like, I don't know, some kind of allergic reaction's happening. Of course it is. Like,
the yes and
yeah,
aspect of
exactly,
D&D.
yeah. And also like, well, what else was the guy gonna say? Well, I don't know if he's allergic to anything. Like if you
It's my
had
first
that
date
as
with
a-
him. I don't
yeah,
even like
yeah.
him.
And then you can go on to like, well, are you gonna let a new guy die on your watch? He's like, oh, I can't do that.
Not again.
Yeah, exactly. And that was just you and me riffing, and that's all it is. It's just riffing off of each other and kind of playing around with that. And that's the fun of it. That's
The
awesome. So-
yes and aspect of a DM. Again, one of the electricians I was talking with, he's going to be DMing for the first time. And I was
Dope.
like, get the essentials kit, put those 6 first quests together, like where you draw the quests. They all meet in a tavern, have the quest board in the tavern or right outside of the tavern, and have like your main character, the first one you introduce or whoever, grabs a random quest off the board on the way
Yeah.
in, and that's your hook. Because
Yeah.
like he was nervous about like, how do I get them to meet? It's like, I
Or
feel
just
like
have them already
every
met.
first time DM is always so nervous about like, how do I get the party together? And it's like,
Yeah.
one thing that can help with that is when, I think, in my opinion, character creation as a group, then you can kind of play off of the
Yeah.
weaknesses and strengths of the individuals in the party
For sure.
to make one complete circle. As well as, like, you could set up, to stick with the essentials kit, you could set up the Dwarven excavation and have it perfect and have miniatures and have, like, an entire landscape done and everything. But at the same time, they're going to want to go find the Manticore.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, do you want to be that railroady DM that's kind of a jerk? Or do you want to be that yes and kind of individual that's not controlling the game as
Yeah.
much as letting the game control their reactions to it?
Now,
And-
all right.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk about railroading, and I know this is
that's a great way to bring in railroading. I want to talk about railroading.
yeah, I do. I feel like I need to defend it a little bit.
Oh.
I
Oh.
I think
I am
that
not
if
gonna
you
like
have
this.
if you have an open world sandbox, then a true open world sandbox is you have done all kinds of world building. You've built a world, all of it. If you walk into a tavern and that tavern person has a quest for you, that's like saying like that's a sense of now the DM is directing you. You are officially in sight of some tracks. Not open world anymore, because that like technically, what would the odds be that you walked into a bar and the bartender right now, if you walked into a bar down the street,
Okay.
would that bartender be like, oh, you know what?
I'm picturing my bartender at Taproom.
We're out of pickles. Dan, can you run and grab us some pickles down the street?
Yeah, I'll run and go get you. What do you want? Kosher pickles? Do you want dill pickles? Do you want pickled chips? If you want pickled chips, do you want them straight cut? Do you want them waffle cut?
This
Do you
is
want
the
'em crinkle cut?
overanalyzing that you guys do, but
Like, dude, I don't know. Give me some pickles.
Yeah.
Do you want Cornishins? Do you want
Jesus.
what is going on here? Do you want pickled watermelon rind? Will that do? Technically, that's a pickle.
and technically anything's you can pickle anything.
We can pickle that.
So,
Still
but like
alright,
that's
it's time.
but that's my point though, is like what after a certain point the DM has to have something prepared, and if they don't, it's like there's other games for that. There's a whole series of games that like allow more of a conversation and less of an adventure
that is guided in some sense. Every book that you get, every DM book that you get that's an adventure book, if you walk into it, all it is a world built for you, and every NPC has a job. But it's really not a true sandbox unless that, like, who says that NPC is in the tavern at the same time that needs help? No, technically they should be in the field because it's in the middle of the day and they're working, and that's
Nerd.
not fun.
Whatever, nerd.
Well, that's my, like, whatever, fine, I'm a nerd, but that's not fun. I can't be like, well,
I love
guys
being
walk into a
DM in
bar
Curse of Strahd for the sandbox aspect of it.
but it's not, I guess my argument is, it's not a true sandbox. There has to be some kind of direction. There has to be some kind of guide for the players. The minute you introduce a hook, all of a sudden, somebody could easily argue, well, you're giving us a hook. We can't just play around in the sandbox. Why are you giving us a hook?
Yeah.
Because that
What are
hook
you
is
fishing?
because that hook is an adventure, and that's why we play the game, is so we can have fun. And like, if you guys walked into a bar and it was the worst bar, no one ever walked into it, nobody ever decided that adventurers would ever go there, then cool. We're gonna role play you guys sitting in a bar.
I mean, I'm down. That's mostly what we do on Roll for Revelry anyways.
It's just, I guess, I don't know. I guess, yes, there are people that take railroading and that's when the negative connotation comes out, and it's not railroading. You're just being a jerk
And I mean,
because you're saying no, you can't do that. Oh well, you guys have to go here, and no, they don't. But that hook died. That adventure hook died. Cool, give him another one.
Yeah.
You know,
multiple hooks catch many fish.
sure,
If that's a phrase.
as they say.
To kind of stick with Curse of Strahd, because there's still so many people playing it right
Yeah,
now. It's
for
super,
sure.
super. I mean, you go on Twitch and it's.
Well, I mean,
I feel like
even
half
then with
of
what's
people are
this-
playing Curse of Strahd.
what's her name too is just Van Richten Guides to Ravenloft came
Yeah.
out just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I think I'm gonna pull some cool stuff from there. Not like immediately, but like the cool ideas, like the domains of evil. I don't know if you read in the book, but it's like they have basically the fog is the interdimensional interdomain area, and if you hey, how we doing?
Hello, drowning fish. Hello, indeed. If you have any questions for us, I am pretty new to D&D. AJ is pretty new as well. We've been playing for about a year. That's why our thing is Watch Us Try. Right now we are talking about railroading, and AJ is defending it, and I'm finding myself... Okay.
I'm simply trying to.
Okay.
I'm trying to say that it's acceptable in certain circumstances.
I found
But
myself
not to-
railroading y'all when I was running Curse of Strahd, using the fog as using it as a hook to be like, all right, y'all are annoying me, so now the fog is closing in tighter.
Yeah.
And as you enter the fog, you take 4 points of exhaustion. Would you like to go towards the opening in the fog? It's like, well, I sure fucking would now.
Points is so many.
Would you like to crawl hands and knees and make your way towards the opening in the
So
fog?
I guess in Van Richten's, and I've only kind of skimmed through it, but like they talk about how like the fog is the basic really roadmap to all these other domains of evil, and it has been like, and then they added a bunch of different domains, and each domain has like a villain or an evil entity of some kind. One of the domains was spoiler alert for Curse of Strahd, 1, 2, 3, that guy with the axe that was ever battling zombies
Yes.
on the hill, which is super cool.
Yes.
But we're back. Spoil free zone now. But yeah, so like building another world, another little path that you can go to is going to be fun. It's going to be like that basically like extra area that you're like, this place is kind of creepy, or this place, like, yeah, you're good. And you know, like having those domains of evil are gonna be interesting. Like, to me, it reminds me of like you walk into a house at a haunted house, or not a haunted house, but you walk into a house in a movie, and you're like, all right, is anybody home? All right, well, we're gonna get drunk and play
What about the
games.
teenagers? Everything's gonna go right.
Yeah. So like, obviously that's gonna be a different way into it, but yeah, that's the idea. Is like, it wouldn't be like a fog, but that would be the introduction to like a creepier place. Like, you start stepping, and every step is creaky. There's no noise, like it's easy to kind of play around with that. But
Yeah. Terrifying. Every step you take is creakier than an old man's bones.
oof, talk about graphic images,
Hey, graphic sounds.
graphic sounds,
Sounds you can hear.
sounds you can see. You can normally hear sounds.
You can see sounds. What's the where people like taste and colors come to mind? That's like a thing.
That is, I have no idea.
Okay. Way to yes and DM.
Yeah. I was trying to make up a fancy word, but all I could think of was auditory, and that's just a normal word.
Yeah. Yeah. Guest appearance.
Hey, what's up, chicken? So yeah, we kind of chatted about railroading. We're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. We should also stop talking about Curse of Strahd because it is not only, in my opinion, one of the best adventures in all of D&D. It's probably the best, in my opinion. But
It's a lot of opinions.
I think that the way that it was modulated for 5e was excellent, and there are
She was just gonna close our stream.
so that would be hilarious. Chicken's like,
You're
I
done.
am the DM.
You're done. Stream
Look at
stream
me.
off.
Touch my face.
Um,
Oh, thanks, Lindsay. Hi. She says, hi, Chicken. And Chicken says, right back. Because that's what
yeah,
gets
get out. Yeah. So, Curse of Strahd, awesome adventure.
Yes.
I really like building our own adventures. I played out of the book for our first campaign's opening adventure.
Is it Wildmount or Wildemount?
I always heard Wildmount, and I watched the show, so
Okay.
I guess Wildmount.
Okay.
But yeah, it's our first campaign was in Wildmount because it was easier for me to take that knowledge of crit rolls show that I've taken and learned and kind of just word vomit it back out and explain it back all to you. But
Sure does a hell of a job.
explaining,
There's
he's
a reason why they are so why it is
Yeah.
such a great show.
But making your own world allows you to make up things and improvise on the spot. And when you're reading from a book, you can do that, but you might get retconned later. It might get you might have been a part that you didn't read or read up to. Like the one mini adventure that we did out of that book, I read 3 times from beginning to end.
Oh, okay.
And it was basically you guys.
Spoilers for Wildmount 5.
You're fine. It was the mini adventure that was in. It was like it's meant to be an opening session, so then that way you can do exactly what we did, is just continue to play. But when you guys got the rod of
shark surfing.
yeah, sharks attacked this village, you guys had to go down and get the rod of redemption, and that was it. But it's definitely different because there is that sense that, all right, well, Curse of Strahd. If you only read a certain portion of it, what happens if they don't? If your players go in another way?
Well, then you have the fog come in, and give them 4 points of exhaustion. And then it opens
You
up,
guide
and
them
then
back
you
into
go, all
the-
right, cool. Y'all
Oh,
want to
we're
rest
gonna
now
go
and
this
think
way.
about your bad decision making?
So you like, it's just like one of those things that like either one of two things happens. You railroad them into what you've prepared and read, or it's you flipping through a book, reading while you're playing. And I don't think that, and if that's the way you play, awesome, that's cool. If any way you play, so long as you're playing, I'm happy. Truly, if you're playing this game, dope. If you're listening to me and you don't play D&D right now, I don't know why you're listening to me.
No, yeah. Well, you have a good voice
It's the
and a great face for radio.
thanks. So, but yeah, if that's yeah,
Got him.
I'm done.
Threw him off.
Done.
Threw him off the whole deal.
Yep. Lost
Yes, that was just for you.
Oh,
David. Just
Lost
for you.
it.
Um,
That's because I'm not DMing right now. I don't have to be on.
I have a question about hooks that are not related to being in a tavern. Do others exist?
Hooks or starting places?
Yes.
Which do you want to tackle first?
Starting places. that
Starting
works.
places. From the research that I've done, there's a number of good ways that you can start off everything. I'll say that if you just start and you ask the players in session 0 or the beginning of session 1, hey, how do you guys know each other? Job's done.
We don't.
Job's done. You're good. Job's done. You're all right. Cool. So where are you guys all at? Oh, you're on a boat. Where are you going? And kind of lead into that. Done. Meeting in a tavern is one thing. I think that is especially in our world, literally a public house, pub. It's where the term comes from. It's where people meet. It's where people would hang out afterwards. And it makes sense for a social gathering. Going off of that, what are other social gatherings? Festivals, celebrations, weddings, funerals, whatever it is.
Depending on who
Religious
it is,
events.
funeral could be a celebration.
Religious events. It could be any of those things. Any portion where you have either acquaintances or strangers in one area. Done.
I feel like I made a mistake on that running Curse of Strahd. We had a friend of ours come in just for like a session, and then they ended up dropping out. It's the way the classic D&D motif. And they were playing a similar bard to what Lindsay was playing. And so then I was like, oh, you guys remember each other from school, right? And they were like, yeah, sure. How do you know each other? And they were like, well, you told us we went to school together.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, yeah,
Alright.
I could have
That's cool
I could
though.
have done that a lot.
But I think that's a level of role play that not everybody's ready for.
Yo, Drowning Fish hit him with the Skyrim open.
Yeah, dude.
Dope.
I saw that.
Dope.
Oh,
Excellent.
you're awake.
Top
Is that what
notch.
he says? Is that what he says?
You're finally awake.
No, you're finally awake. That's a good one too.
I'm from Rorikstead.
In Prison is a good one. I read it wasn't D&D, but Gloomhaven. Jamie Stegmaier put through if you don't know who he is, it's Googleable. He makes all the board games everybody loves nowadays. He made a module for Gloomhaven, and it was you're all in a room chained to the wall. Like he gave you like a saw opening. It's like, how do you get out? And the entire encounter's in that one room. So yeah, you can anything where strangers or acquaintances come together, and if they're not strangers or they're not acquaintances, it's on them. You know, and if you lean into that, then you have anything that can happen. Anything during a festival, during a wedding, you can have the wedding, individuals that are getting married say I do, and devil comes from underground and breaks through the earth, and all of a sudden it's like the binding is complete. Like, done. Fuck, there you go. There you go.
Unholy
Yeah,
matrimony.
that one's for free. There you go. That's how you start a campaign.
Yo, actually, because then all your characters, like, before that could be like, oh well, I know the group. How do you know the other group?
Yeah.
You're like, oh well, I went to Bard
I
school.
went to school with him.
I went to school with them. We went to the same school. We went to the same
of
Bard
course.
school, man.
Yeah.
It's why we're here singing together. Oh, what song are you singing?
Yeah. That's some of the best stuff. Oh, what song are you singing?
I love that Lindsay as Orla is doing like the inspirational quotes.
Oh my god, they're so good.
Like, if you're going through hell, just keep going. Like,
Yeah.
I do feel inspired.
Yeah.
You're fucking right. Give me that D8.
I want you to imagine a cat hanging off a limb. Hang in there. Like,
The Skyrim open. I'm absolutely stealing that from you, Drowning Fish, not from the
Not
Elder
from
Scrolls.
Skyrim.
When is the next Elder Scrolls coming out? Because we're not gonna play D&D for like a month. Because I'm gonna play that game until my eyes bleed.
I don't know,
And
man.
keep playing it.
I re-downloaded ESO. Yeah. I haven't played it yet, but I re-downloaded it. Anticipating that I'm gonna play it.
In anticipation of you could just play Skyrim again.
Well, I think they just released a new. I don't have Skyrim right now. I lent it to Bob, but I think they just released a new expansion world part of their adventure for ESO.
Did
So.
they make Morrowind free yet?
How is it not? It's like 15 years old.
Well, like they opened Morrowind, Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh.
Yeah, like opened up that world. It's like I can only save Vivek so many times. You know,
I don't know. I don't. I haven't gotten that far in ESO.
Side quest McGee over here. It's like the first main quest in ESO.
Oh man, that's why I DM. I can't. I would take a bite out of every hook you give me. I would have
I'll take a
laundry
little bit of
list.
this worm. I'll
I'd be
take a little
writing
bit of
down
this worm.
notes, and I'd have like a color coded system. So I'm like, oh, silver side
Yo, it's
quest.
not even joking.
Gold.
You would.
Um,
You'd have an Excel spreadsheet.
I'm not nearly that organized as a player. That's the worst part. It's
No,
just
you
like,
would have it in a composite journal, 75 pages, and it would
Pulls
be
out.
it would be like, you know how a composite notebook when you buy it is like this, but then after you write in it a bunch, it's like kind of, you know, pages kind of open itself. Yours would be like this, and it would be spilling highlighter inks out of it, much like a
it would be a
like
composite
vomiting
mimic,
a rainbow of organization.
a composite notebook mimic, and it spews highlighter acid. There you go.
Yeah, we need to get that to the Adventure Guild for homebrew review
Yeah,
because
right.
honestly, a beholder with different.
I'm working on a
Highlighter
bunch of
eyes.
in reality, I want to definitely put out our own book. I think I'm gonna put out like a small pamphlet of our world.
My good friend's wife works for a publishing house.
Oh, perfect. Well, then we don't have to have wizards do it. Bullet dodged.
I saw something on the internet this week.
Oh, yeah?
Last week.
And was it a cat?
I saw multiple.
Not
things
what
on the
you're talking
internet
about,
this week. Yes. I did see some cats on the internet. I saw some people getting upset on the internet. Shocker. People getting upset at like the newfound, and I mean, we're absolutely part of this. People that are newer to D&D, who are in like, you know, WotC, Wizards of the Coast, is like making buku dollars over this, and like they went from like a, you know, multi-dozen million-dollar company to like $440 million over the last like year, 2 years, 3 years or so. And I believe they are owned by the conglomerate that owns Hasbro. But somebody was like, God, I just hate that like D&D is just a money grab now. And in my head, I was like, yeah, dude, it's a business. That's literally how it works.
They've always
Like,
wanted your money.
Yeah. Why do you think they said the original D&D books, the volume 1, 2, and 3, that has like, here's the rules, here's your monsters, here's whatever. I was watching this stream the other day where this guy had like, we went through page by page, and I was like, yeah, for reading a book on Twitch, this is exciting. And it was the original cost of all 3 volumes. Would you care to put a guess out? It came out in, I think,
Now
74.
or then?
Then. 74.
$15.
$10.
Oh, that's close.
It is now easily 15 times the price for
Yeah.
just the 3, right? The
Yeah.
3 main books is $150. And if you get them as a deal, it's like $145.
Yeah.
It's like, what a steal.
Here's a DM screen.
Yeah. Here's a crappy little DM screen. You can also
They
buy
got
all
a
of
new
these
one.
books
They upgraded.
and a essentials kit. That'll be $200.
So I'll tell you this much. The game is free. You can play the game 100% for free. Get yourself some dice. I'm sure there's a dice roller app that you could get. You could play all of it, and
Yes, as Drowning Fish says, you can just look up the books, the PDFs. You can go Monster Manual PDF free, Google.
well,
I am feeling lucky.
I mean, you can, but you can do that to anything. If you're tight on cash and you can't do that, I'm not going to condone piracy. But
I will.
I will say this much, that everything that you can get is you can play the basics for free. The SRD, which is the system reference document, is also free, and it has everything. It has everything you need to play. The SRD is a little crunchy. It's a little harder to read, but you can go on to D&D Beyond and look at the basic rules for free. No problem. You can probably go on to Roll20 and all the others, and basic rules free. There you go. That's how you play. If you see all these numbers going up for D&D's like profit, like they literally give out the game for free. All of everything else is supplemental. So anybody that is coming in and new and they're buying games, they're buying books, good, awesome. That's sweet. And if you have you have the free game, yeah, cool. D&D's making money, that's good. That means more people are buying books, more people are streaming, more people are doing all these things. At the end of the day, and I don't know the numbers on this, but at the end of the day, I'd like to think that more people are still playing Cards Against Humanity. They're still playing Monopoly. They're still playing all the other games that aren't D&D. And I took this from our
I
brewing.
wouldn't have played any of these D6 modules that you've introduced us
no.
without D&D. Kids on Bikes wouldn't have played.
Yeah.
What do you
And
know about?
with that brewing mentality that we had during the big brewing boom, we both worked in breweries. Dan still does.
It sucks.
The
Kidding. It's great.
idea was that no matter what the brewery is, you want to help them out, because at the end of the day, Budweiser's still making more money than all of them combined.
Yep.
Same mentality. I absolutely believe 100% everybody should have the same mentality about role-playing games. Doesn't matter whether you play D&D, doesn't matter whether you play any of the other hundreds of tabletop RPGs. We should all support each other, because at the end of the day, more people still play Cards Against, nothing against Cards Against Humanity. Nothing against all the other board games, card games. I love party games, I love games like that. But they're not this. And this is something else. This is something, like, how many times have we played games that are not D&D or a tabletop game within the past
Within
within the past year? We played some
2-3
Root.
years. Yeah.
We played
Root's
some card
great.
games.
That
Root's
is
great.
That is so complicated though. Like I can play the Marquis de Cat and be like, I'm the king at the beginning of the game.
Oh,
And then just get screwed up the entire time, and it sucks. Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah,
First,
right.
wait,
that was the long con.
Oh yeah, you saw that coming. you were like, I can't wait to throw Root in there because Dan only plays the Marquis.
But it's like it's definitely a good thing. And to look down on it and just say, oh, companies being profitable. First of all, companies being profitable, awesome. They can continue making you content. You know, like if you didn't buy the new book that just came out a little bit ago, or before that, Tasha's or Candlekeep or any of the new ones that have been out in the past, they've been pushing out 4 books a year.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's incredible.
Like they're a large enough company now where they can work months in advance, 6 months, maybe even 12 months in advance. Like General Motors works like a decade in advance. I'm sorry, I'm not like I drive a Ford, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. So the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that was like, yeah, dude, they're a fucking business. Good for them. They're doing it right. You jealous boy. Because it was a boy, of course it was. And us white dudes are fucking terrible. Anyways, the second thing that came to my mind was I like a nice peanut butter and jelly sandwich with some potato chips in it, right? Some people would find that disgusting.
I was like, where are you going with this?
But hey, we like to tell those people, don't yuck my yum. Do not yuck my yum. And I'm sorry, there may be better tabletop RPGs out there that are better for roleplay, that are better for adventuring, that are better for combat. Combat is slow in D&D. There are ways to speed it up. It's a lazy motif. Like, wow, welcome to 1987, man. And so like, why are you getting upset that more people are enjoying something?
Yeah.
Like, who hurt you? You know, to like
And
put that out there and be like, well, I got 500 likes, so it must be real.
And the thing is, it's unfortunate that, I'll be honest, it's unfortunate that they've taken 20 minutes of our time talking about this. That sucks.
Dude, living in the bed rent free.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember who it was, but I can't remember who it was. Because they have like 200 followers, and we only have like 450, so like, we're 2.5 times cooler. No, that's not how it works.
No, that's not how any of it works.
That's not how any of it works.
Awesome. So, okay, cool. Never mind. Read something else.
Top 5 people in the TTRPG D&D Twitterverse right now. Go.
Oh shit! I don't know.
Me.
I don't know.
Maps and Quest.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah. I
Hope.
mean, on our feed, yeah, for sure.
Maps and Quest. Hope for TTRPGs. She is incredible. The way that she's organizing, like, everyone is great. Big fan of what is it? Gremlin's Corner.
Goblin's Corner.
Goblin's Corner.
Goblin's Corner was. I just flew through that podcast. Not another D&D. Not another DM. What is it? How to not. Wow, I'm ruining.
How to not DM.
How to not DM. Thank you. I'm getting a number of different streams mixed up. That's been another great podcast. Check them out. But yeah, I mean, it's those people. It's the people that want to have interactions with others and grow the community that WotC should be paying.
Yes.
like let's be real. They're the ones,
Great.
driving the excitement and the encouragement of the hobby, of the gaming, of the passion.
And like pushing it into spaces where D&D hasn't been.
Yeah.
3 Black Halflings. Awesome.
Yeah.
I was watching a stream the other day where someone was running Curse of Strahd, and they had somebody that like came up to them was in a wheelchair, and it's like that doesn't exist in 5e. You know, like there's not. I'm sure there's like tons of homebrew things of like somebody in a wheelchair, and it's like
It's been a very hot topic as of late, actually.
what, are people upset at it? It's like, oh,
We're not gonna touch that.
thrown that into the woods.
We're not gonna touch that one.
Yeah.
For the sake of it, if you want to add anything into your game, you should do so, and you should be able to do so without being badgered by anybody else. I'm gonna leave it at that, because that's all it
your
is.
space. Make it the way you want.
Yeah.
Anybody
And
that gets
if
mad at
anybody
you, don't
wants
want 'em at the
to,
table like
if
this.
anybody wants to put those tools out there, more power to them. So I got some questions for you, because you've been yeah,
I've been peppering you.
yeah. Here's a little salt. Get it? That's a term.
Salt rifle.
No, it was like never mind.
The salt.
No, it was like the bad.
Oh, Salt Bay is not like a good dude. Turns out
Oh no shit.
the restaurateur, like he underpays his people and is like a creep.
Old Bay?
No, Salt Bay.
I don't know what that is.
The meme where
Yeah, I get it, but like I don't.
he's a restaurateur out of like the Washington D.C. area, and he's fucking awful.
Oh. Well,
Sorry, go on. Pepper away.
pepper away.
Instead of salt.
Boo.
No.
So you're playing a monk.
Yeah.
You played a paladin.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Because I feel like barbarian just tracks too well for me,
Yeah.
and I want to play a barbarian. I would like to multi-class a bard and a barbarian at some point. Kind of like Chris Pratt's character from Onward. It's definitely
Yeah.
like a barbarian. I don't know. I like a sense of right and wrong, and I feel like paladins and monks are like best suited for that. Exactly
I
that.
think that is a. That's an effect. That's a.
Also, monks can just be like, "Oh hey, I'm just hanging out." Ba, 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 ba. Oh, you're dead. Sorry about your luck, bruh.
I think that if you don't need a class to be in that category of right and wrong and lawful and
True, that's what the whole-
and good and all of that stuff. I think that a number of things. I think that if you can try to take a class that is like a warlock in
I
our
wanna
world, Earth. Is it still Earth? Is Forgotten Realm still Earth? No, it's not. I don't know.
It's
I
an
don't play
unnamed
Forgotten
planet.
Realms.
Earth.
Yeah. On Earth, like that's a inherently evil profession, I guess. Class, I was gonna
Warlocking?
say, but yeah, warlock. It's like a bad black magic kind of.
Bard,
mentality,
warlock, pop and warlock.
But you could
It's a good one.
you could easily turn that into a good character, a good lawful character. And lawful just means you got a code and you live by it. Chaotic means you don't have a code and you live by whatever means you want. You know, like good is
Blow in the wind.
you know, you really want to keep an eye out for other people and you know that sensibility. And I think that those you can do those things, and you know you can have an evil paladin, no problem. Just look at Joe Manganiello.
I was just gonna say.
No-
I just,
no problem.
Finished campaign 1.
Oh, you did?
Yes, finally.
Start to finish,
Start to finish.
dude.
And there's a point. Spoilers for Critical Role campaign 1.
Welcome to the Critical Role fanfic show.
When he like right before he does the like chops his own hand off
Yeah.
and fucking lay on heel and then goes, it was nothing personal.
Bounces.
And then he gets up from the table too. He's just like, okay, bye.
Yeah. What else are you gonna do? Just sit there and watch?
But he like looks at the DM and he's just like what's with the hand? And then Vecna disappears and only that's left is the hand.
Oof.
And just like, what a cool
Yeah. What a cool give.
it just
I think it was like I think that may have been like something that is like that reading your players thing, but also I don't think he had any idea what was going to happen.
no.
Mercer, that means.
No.
But that's another thing too. Is I think moving on from that in that experience is we're kind of talking about reading your players and kind of bouncing off those things, and I think that we're able to do that really well. But that's only because we know each other so well. But like when you can read each other and kind of pick up on those mannerisms, and that's another benefit of playing online too, is you can see everybody on your screen. If I'm at this table right here and I'm looking over at you, I can't see what
Can't see,
Kate is doing.
can't see Orla going.
Yeah, I can't see Orla. Yeah, freaking out or any. Yeah, so
He
it's
just
definitely
sounded like a Halo character.
oh like the big
The
biggest yeah.
Work.
So I don't know. I think that's definitely a cool way to
see the excitement and kind of feed that, and like what we were saying, I think 2 hangovers ago is like, I don't want to take a moment away from my players. I never want to take a moment away from my players. And if I see that they're enjoying something or anticipating something or getting excited about something, lean into that. You know, like,
Because like we're all writing the story together.
yeah.
Like I don't know. The best books are the ones that are fleshed out, right?
For sure.
The best stories are.
So yeah, Monk. What would happen if he died? What would you go to?
I'd start rolling up another character, and I would, judging by the party that we have now, we need some type of magical prowess. So I
Yeah.
think I would play a wizard.
Yeah, you guys are not
Just
heavy magic.
just
right
a clean wizard.
That'd be gnarly, dude.
I
I
mean-
want to play a wizard.
Just have my little book and just, oh yeah, I'm gonna have. These are my spells for the day. I hope we don't get into combat. These are my spells for the day, and I chose combat heavy. We're just gonna be hanging out all
Good
day.
luck.
Hope we don't need to convince anybody of anything,
Yeah, right.
because fireball is the only way.
I did. So my character in DM campaign is the warlock, but he wholeheartedly believes he's a paladin.
Oh wait, what kind of paladin does he think he is?
Well, we are playing with the Norse mythology.
Ah,
So he is a paladin of Surtur. And if you're familiar with Norse mythology, Surtur is the fire giant that will defeat Frey and bring forth Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So I am a
Thor Ragnarok.
yeah. Oh, there you go. So yeah, I am a son of Muspel, which is Muspelheim, which is the realm of the fire giant. So yeah, that is and I was born into it,
That's
so
your-
I don't
that's your
even know.
bloodline.
Like, yeah, I was like, so I'm like, all right, cool. I'm warlock, subclass fiend, and there we go. We're done with that. But he wholeheartedly is like, yes, paladin. It's what it is. It's how I am of the people for the people. And eventually we will destroy this world together. And it's
But we will do it.
it's fun. It's fun. But I think the next time I go, I'm gonna go wizard. I really wanna. We were pretty magic heavy though in our classes.
Yeah, but it's magic.
We had a cleric, sorcerer, with warlock,
Fighter with a bow.
artificer.
Fighter with a bow.
Dude, that arcane archery would be super fun. I think that'd be dope.
Arcane archery basically is like the dragon episode of Rick and Morty, where Summer is like laying down on the ground, like, no, watch how I'm gonna shoot this bow. And he goes, yeah, fuck yeah, shoot it with your feet. Oh my god, that'd be great.
So yeah, what did you answer that question? What would you be?
Oh, I think I would.
Oh,
be,
wizard, yeah.
I think I would be a wizard with like a focus on healing, perhaps.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know what they are. Abjuration? Is that what? No, that's like
Uh,
shielding.
I don't know. Also,
I
like,
think a wizard that
stuff
focuses on
is
healing,
pretty
they
good.
call a cleric.
Well, then I would play a cleric.
You play whatever you want, man. I don't care.
Full disclosure, AJ made the best character, but for a first-time DM, it was awful. He was a knowledge domain cleric that knew literally everything and walked around with a stack of books and just like in like a belt, you know, like the old movies where it's just like, I have a belt of books. It's because a bag doesn't exist at this
No.
point in history. We don't know what a satchel is, so we'll just wrap leather around it. And he made like bookshelves appear, and it was just like,
Yeah, I had like
I remember doing like,
Wall of Faith was just a stack of bookshelves that would fly out at
and it
people.
was just like, oh cool, now this entire battlefield, which was pretty open,
Dude,
now
I can't
has
believe-
alleys, and
can't
now
believe I
you
was
like
such a
pummeled all of
dick.
these. No, not at all. Like
I
that-
was though, like the etherealness. Like I've like
yeah,
now that
it was
I'm
a little
like
game breaky.
now that
I
I'm
also
like
didn't do enough research on your character
That's
to know
fine.
like how to best it.
and that's not even that though. Like that as a DM now and as a aged player that I know, like, it was a dick move to basically be like, oh, hey, this dungeon you set up? Nah, I'm good. Like,
Oh, does this dungeon
Sure,
look
yeah.
like Halor's Fields?
yeah.
What? No.
Nope. Okay.
Oh, is this
Doesn't happen.
vampire? Is it weak to this, this, and this? Oh no, I can just. Hold on. Let me bring up my vampire book, my compendium on vampires.
I don't think it was that.
No, I'm being facetious, of course, but I think I think clerics are really underutilized. I think that their domains are more
Yeah.
fun. I think that wizard is an easy answer for me. And honestly, if I wanted to just have fun, I would just be a raging barbarian and do like Path of the Totem Warrior, and do, I don't know, eagle or bear. But I think that's just Dan answering as, like, if I were I always wanted to just run a just PHB, a just PHB 5e campaign, where it's
That's
like
cool.
there's no like Way of Mercy monks, there's no like things that they introduce to kind of balance out the game, and it's just like,
Basically, no Xanathars, like, and that's the thing too. Is like, what is it like? Adventurers League is PHB +1, so you get like one book on top of that. But even then, it's like, really, it's just the one. Like, it's either Xanathars that you're grabbing with, or now maybe Tasha's.
well, it's a cauldron of everything.
It is, and what is Xanathars? Also of everything, something of everything.
Xanathar's
Xanathar's
something.
Bazaar of.
Yeah, it's a bazaar of bizarre.
And it's our Xanathar's Guide to Everything. That's it. That's all it is. Cauldron of everything. Guide to everything.
Cauldron, bazaar, guide, all of these things.
Here's a question.
We actually have a question from a watcher.
Oh, we do?
AJ, what is your favorite non-damaging spell?
Oh, man.
And
Non-damaging
why is it mass
spell.
healing?
Why is it mass healing? Do you have an answer right out the gate?
Mass healing word.
Okay. Tell me why while I float around. Because I'm a DM, I see less spells than all
That's
y'all.
fair. Mass healing word because it will save your life completely. It will save the entire party and will flip the DM the fuck out.
What's the
I think mass healing word is within you create a circle of 30 feet, and you roll, depending on what level you cast it at. It is you heal for like massive amounts of damage, or for massive amounts of points.
Yeah.
Like if you heal for like 100 points, you can
shit.
spread that around. To be
Yeah.
like, oh, you get 20, you get 80.
Wait, mass healing word is that's not what you mean.
What
Call
do I
out
mean?
words of restoration. 6 creatures within your range regain hit points equal to 1d4 plus your spellcasting modifier. That's it.
At level 1.
At level 3.
Oh.
Every level. I think you're talking about heal,
I might be talking about heal.
or there's also
I'm
another one.
acting like
that's-
a real heal right now.
yeah, hey,
Drowning Fish's favorite is clone.
clone. I don't know.
Like clone. Mine is probably like clone.
Clone. Spell regrows an inert duplicate of a living medium creature as a safeguard against death.
Oh,
Clone
it's like
forms inside a sealed vessel and grows to
it's like
full-
Mimic from Pokemon.
Oh man, that's 8th level. 120 days. That's like, dude, it's
120 days.
yeah, well you have to set it up and your clone grows to maturity. It's basically if you guys have watched, I guess you can, spoiler alert for Invincible. If you've watched Invincible or read it, in Invincible there's a character that clones himself and then puts his consciousness into the new clone body
Oh, and then just forever ages.
and forever ages. Yeah. Well, kind of, but yeah.
Forever or never ages.
Yeah.
I guess, if you will. Is that time travel?
Never aging? No.
Or like that, because your consciousness is passed into your clone,
You want to say the spoilers?
Is that time travel?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's just living consciousness. I think mine would be like, I want to almost say it's a utility cantrip.
I'll just pull it out of my utility.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of cool ones. I like the ones that are like here's a hut, or here's a like
Leonard's.
Lehman's tiny hut.
There it is.
Mordekainen's mansion of majesty or something like that.
I feel like those aren't like.
Those
It's
are
like
the ones
a-
that I would want.
It's a
That's
very
the thing.
specific like scenario spell. Like,
Yeah.
what's the one where you like cast a cage for an hour, like an energy cage around somebody?
I don't know, man. I need to play more. I need to play more.
We clearly need to do more magic characters.
Yeah. We don't have a lot. Well, we have no magic characters right now. We have an arcane trickster rogue. We have a bard. And we have a ranger. And our ranger...
Gina can fuck shit up with that arcane trickster.
She can, but she... and the weird thing is, like, arcane in, like, D&D Beyond doesn't do it justice because they don't help with the tier of when she gets her spells. So I have to like remind her, like, hey, you can only take spells out of these 2 categories. On this level, you can take any of them. They have it open to any of them so that they don't have to write different code for the subclass.
Makes sense.
But no, I think one of those ones, or maybe a debuff. Some of like the
Counterspell
enchanted
technically a
ones.
spell? Because it takes a spell slot, right?
Counterspell is absolutely a spell.
That might be it.
Yeah.
Because then no matter what your favorite spell is, counterspell.
Yeah, but if your favorite counterspell is, or if your favorite spell is counterspell, your least favorite spell is most definitely counterspell. Because you can counterspell a counterspell.
Can you counterspell a counterspell's counterspell?
No. I think it's only,
Because then you wouldn't
Twice.
have enough time to do it.
yeah, because it's a reaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Ah, dude.
Yeah, gnarly.
I need to get more into magic.
I think it would be, yeah, I don't know, the enchantment ones though too, like Gina's what does she do where she just detect thoughts? Gnarly,
And
dude.
then is it at a higher level or is it at level at the
She can
level that
do
you
it.
hit it, where it's like you can read their thoughts, and now at a higher level you know exactly where they are.
Yeah, for sure. Johnny Fish, what subclass you playing? What school of magic? I think that enchantment is probably my favorite. Some of the things that you can, and like maybe that says a little bit about me. I hope it doesn't. if you could have one spell for every, if you could have one cantrip for everyday use, what would it be?
Fireball.
That's not a cantrip.
Firebolt.
You need to play more Wizards.
Clearly.
Clearly.
Smite.
I don't know if Smite is either.
Because then I could just like be swinging like a hammer into a nail and just be like, and the nail would just quiver. It would like glow gold and then just.
The thing is,
wood.
you say that, and I'm a woodworker, and I don't hammer that much.
I would be an incredible carpenter.
That's fair.
Dare say a better carpenter than Jesus. His table's kind of shitty. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah,
That table that
you
Jesus
did.
made me is awful. Doesn't even have a charging board.
Oh my god.
Dude, it's 2021. Let's get with it.
I think, I'll be honest, I think, it's not Hideous Laughter's not it's a first level. I was gonna say Vicious Mockery. So that way, like, my bad puns can actually cause you damage.
Like they're so bad that
Like, they're so bad. So they, I've been listening to the Dungeons and Daddies
Top
D&D podcast.
top 3
not-
podcasts.
Not a BDSM podcast. That's their slogan.
But for the first little bit, they had anytime somebody accidentally made a dad joke or a dad pun, they had the group roll to take damage. In all reality, real life, I think I want to say mage hand, but also like maybe just like
To just pick you up and carry you places.
not me. I don't even think that mage hand can do that. I just want to like
Can it like
get
scoop you?
things. No, it can only carry 5 pounds.
I'd have to
There's
be very small.
a spell that can like that's a bigger hand that's like a super strong hand, but yeah.
Take my strong hand.
Necromancer, man, that's a
Necromancer's
hard
fun.
role play. That's a hard role play thing. And I think it'll be interesting because I like if my warlock dies and we're like playing like, hey, come with a backup character. So like that's how we're playing,
I'm giving y'all CR10s right off the bat.
right? No, our first fight had like 7 or 8 we started at level 3, 7 or 8 goblins, 2 hobgoblins, this froghemoth blizzard kind of thing. We were like, all right, cool, bootstraps, let's go.
I don't know what a bootstrap is. I've never owned a pair of boots with straps.
I looked it up the other day, or I either looked it up the other day or saw it on Reddit and it was like, oh, common things nobody really knows about. Bootstraps. And apparently they were like straps on your boots to help you get your boot on or something. I don't
Just
know.
buy boots that fit.
I think it's an old timey thing when
Oh.
people didn't have
When you had like a pair of
Boots.
boots that you bought for $40 and you can go buy a bottle of whiskey for a nickel.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, if he dies, I want to play a goblin necromancer. I think that would be fun. But yeah, I think
You raise the dead and then collect trinkets.
just loot them.
I raise skeletons. Go grab me that. I like that. Grab it.
It's shiny. Or I just raise dead and I just take things off of them, and then you're good. You can
This
go back.
rusty scimitar, amazing.
Must go with my collection.
What's the spell where you can remove like all the wetness from your clothing or whatever, or like remove rust from a weapon? This is great.
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
I can't.
One more time.
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation. Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
Think.
That sounds
I'm
weird.
making
Yeah, you
that
don't
up.
even
If
know.
it's
You're just
actually
fucking.
how it goes.
I know thaumaturgy, so I'm good with
Again.
that one.
Rage Barbarian. Haste.
But yeah, I think Necromancer can go well with a backstory, no problem. I think it's like difficult. It also depends on the setting, the mood that you guys are playing, how you're playing. But if you're playing anything more serious, then it's like, dude, you just brought those people back. Like that's not cool.
We didn't. Why'd you
Yeah,
do it?
like-
We didn't get the information that we needed. Hey, can we have the information that we needed? Well, now we can. Cool. You're dead again.
Yeah, right.
Trapped. What?
Trapped in a realm of souls for half a year. So yeah.
Or
Yeah.
unfortunate.
So yeah is the perfect answer to that. So yeah, that works.
Trapped. Was your wizard created in the chamber that Ursula keeps all of the individuals?
It's one of the eels.
Flotsam or Jetsam?
I didn't know that. I did not know their names. I bet
Flotsam
you
and
though.
Jetsam.
I absolutely lost. I know for a fact now. I lost that question on a bar trivia at least 3 years ago.
Well, now you know. Flotsam and Jetsam.
Flotsam and Jetsam. So yeah.
Wait, you
Matt-
were originally going to be a bard, and then you were like, no, necromancer. I went from inspiring people to terrifying the hell out of people and raising the dead. Excellent.
I like to think though
Top
he's
notch.
still
Drowning Fish,
the-
you are officially invited to a Roll for Revelry one shot because your character creation is going to be hilarious.
I like to still think it's a bard that was also still trapped in the realm of souls for a while.
Poor unfortunate souls.
6 months of my life. Like, what a horny bard screwed the wrong person to make that imprisonment happen.
They summoned skeletons. What did the horny bard bone?
Oh, I'm gonna roll to see if I take damage for that.
Yeah,
that
go
was
ahead.
rough. I don't have dice. There.
Yeah, they're right there. Take these.
So dice.
Pepper away.
Do you I wanna talk, do you like rolling with a die, or do you like rolling digitally?
I love rolling with a die, but it's much faster to roll digitally.
You think so? You
Because
really
it
do?
automatically does it.
The math, you mean?
Full disclosure, we use D20 or D&D Beyond. I don't know why I said D20.
No, that's not. That's just
That's
a
me
normal
being
dice.
It's just a 5%.
Full disclosure: we use D20s for our 20-sided dice. We don't. None of that spinners.
The rims. I'm sorry. What I do prefer rolling dice. I like but if I don't exactly know what I'm rolling for at first, I don't like rolling the dice and then being like on my phone like, what am I?
I think that comes with.
I also
The
just
fact
need to
that
have
you're-
my character sheets.
Yeah, I think
Printed.
that's the other thing is because I've been playing with my character sheet printed out and in front of me, and I'll tell you this much: I very much enjoy it more than being on my computer and on my phone and looking things up. I have my computer and my phone there, but it's mostly because of spells. Because like once you get in your character sheet, you're writing out all your spells. You're right, like that's a lot of prep for you to do on just how to play, like just for you to be able to play.
Yeah.
But I think that if you are
Oh, welcome back, Demon Kitty.
what's happening?
I see you down there.
Yeah, I think if you are kind of, I don't know, if you don't want to prep your character, which by all means that's fair, I know for a fact that I like looking into those things and like looking. I read through almost all my spells. I really was like trying to pick the ones that matched my character's role play more, and that was another thing too. Is I pick things for role play heavy.
Yeah.
I pick things because it makes sense to my character, and less of, oh, this does super dope damage, I need that, or oh, I need to be able to heal my team or whatever. I'm every time I'm going to figure out like what is the most guy, whatever my character's name is, Sir Christoph. No, what is
Waltz?
it? No, it's oh shoot, I just forgot.
Sir
If
Christoph.
it's not in front of me right now. Lord, I apologize. Lord Christoph Pratt. I'm playing
Lord
with Tim.
Christoph
Tim
Pratt.
absolutely hates Chris Pratt as an actor. so
Perfect.
I naturally named my character Lord Christoph Pratt, and he has to address me as such. Otherwise, well, I'm a paladin. I'm a holy man.
Yeah, still not a paladin.
I don't know what you're talking about. So,
I have one question for Drowning Fish. So you have this homebrewed once a day trade that lets you full on possess someone. Do you have to sing a song to them to possess them?
well, no, he's not a bard.
No, but previously was a bard
Oh,
when
yeah.
he was trapped, but then the souls corrupted his magic.
You know,
Love it.
and
What a
while
character.
I was saving that out, we had a lot of homebrew. We have a fair amount of homebrew.
Sure do.
We have a homebrew race, rather a homebrew couple homebrew sub races. We have your fat cat variant,
Yeah.
which is like all the cats are like jungle cats, and I'm sitting here thinking like the first actual thought of it was not so much for you, but it was how do I make a fat cat villain that's the bad guy and smoking his extra long cigarette stem, small tiny top hat that's purple naturally. I don't know. That I was like, yes, I want this as a character. Let's figure it out. And then you were talking about running a Tabaxi monk, and you wanted the claws to be a thing, and you want to work things out. And then I don't know when we started talking about you brewing.
Oh, and would you like to describe the fat cat and how it doesn't get the dexterity bonus?
Yeah, so basically it loses the dex bonus and it gets the toughness feat for free. Your toughness feat is +3 instead of +2. We can play around with whether that's high or not, but at the end of the day, we're talking about 8 extra health points. To me, that's literally,
We don't really have like a
negligible.
tank
That's
for the party.
yeah,
so.
yeah. You guys don't
Me
really.
too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely a class, and it's not a class for, or it's not a subclass for tanking, but it's definitely a sub race for tanking for sure. I think that I think it's worked out so far. We haven't really had to change anything. We had to change a little bit with your brewmaster class.
Yeah.
And that
was the way of the
naturally-
iron kettle instead of
Yeah, the way of the iron kettle. And that is your and I poked around, and there's a few monk brewing homebrews out there, and I kind of stole the parts that I liked, and I dropped the parts that I didn't. And then I also
As every player should do.
absolutely. And I also wanted it to be more of a monk alchemist and less of a monk drunken master monk. Because that's out there. That's published.
Yeah.
But a monk alchemist is kind of not. And when I first read the Way of Mercy monk, I thought that's what it was, because the picture is depicting this person with they have the plague doctor's crow mask and a bandolier of little vials, and to me I was like, fucking dope. We're gonna get like a wandering monk that has this like poisoner / healer / and then it wasn't quite that. It was more of like
Son of a bitch lied to me.
it was like a life, like drawing and giving like life force. Like you can take life force from people or heal
Yeah,
life force.
and it's like it's more
And that's
like
cool, too.
towards the
That's
end
very
of
cool.
their hit point
yeah.
indicator too.
And that's definitely cool too.
Health bar. That's hit point indicator. It's called a health bar.
Health part. But yeah, so it was definitely cool kind of building this way of the iron kettle. And then also like the brewing experience that you and I have is fun too, because it wasn't the way of the iron kettle at first. It was just brewmaster, and we're like, cool, way of the iron kettle, dope. And then like you slowly started to be able to do different things, and I think you're level 11 or something like that. You get your stance of the iron kettle or stance of the mash tun or something like that, and you just like hunker down, and you are, not only do you have this fat cat resilience, but you have like resilience to like standard bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage. So you just
It's like
tank.
in Man of
You
Steel
sit
where
and
the
tank.
guy like punches
But I don't think you
Butt
can
Cat in the
move when
face
you
and
do
he's just like,
I don't think you can move when you
no,
do it. I
that's
think you,
totally fine.
but that's
because
cool. Like,
Marxus has a way of running in and then just being like,
and if you're
and
ever
he needs patience. And
yeah,
so
for
that
sure.
is kind of something that Marxus as a character is building towards, is like being less of a scaredy cat and being more of a,
Yeah. Stoic.
you know how cats just like stare at you and you're like, what, dude?
Currently
What,
one
why,
doing it.
what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Oh yeah, she sure is.
So, and here's another thing too, is like if you're ever curious about making your own class or subclass, if you're ever curious about making your own class or subclass, think about any type of character or fighter or anything in any video game. There's absolutely a super powerful. I'll tell you right now, StarCraft. There were the giant tanks. They did much more damage when they were in turret mode, and they'd hunker down, but they couldn't move. Cool. You took away mobility, and you made them super strong.
It's like the robot from Overwatch.
Robot from Bastion.
There we go.
In any game like that, there's those mechanics, and if you take one character and you break them down, let's say Overwatch again, break them down for mechanic, you have a character that can speed around the map very much, does little okay damage, but super high mobility. That is that guarantee there's a super fast speed monk somewhere that can be built.
Monks are, I mean,
My or a
movement
super
right now at
fast
level 8 is 45 feet.
even that, like, look at anything that might be a like a warrior or what do they call them? Fighters in this game. Fighter would be, I don't know why I call them warriors all the time. But like a fighter would be like super fast on the battlefield, making slashes and very like think like an anime character. Like that'd be cool to play.
Yeah.
But moving on to the rest of our homebrews, we have Orla, who is a frost gnome, and Orla started out with a idea that basically, I think Frozen 2 came out, and Lindsay was like, I just want to be Olaf.
Yep.
I was like, cool, we can make that happen. So that's where that came from, and you know, some of those frost elements are in it.
Yes, Frost element.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we also play with Unearthed Arcana, which has been all right. I wish we gave it feedback. I think we missed the boat on that. But we have done some changes with that. But we're currently playing with the Drake Warden subclass for Ranger.
Yeah.
Where instead of your animal companion, you have a dragon companion. Super cool, and I think that Bob has really taken the reins and run with it, and I think his world building is a good part that he really enjoys.
Yes.
And I don't lean on you guys enough, but we also haven't had a lot of like lore heavy episodes. Which a couple things. I don't prefer them. I think they are not particularly interesting to watch. So I would have fun with them. I think you guys would too, but it would be like, all right, cool. We rolled some dice, learned some things, and that's how I spent my 2 hours on Sunday.
Nobody in the old realm of tournament will remember, or one person will remember and feverishly remind us of.
Yeah, if you really need that, we'll post it on our fandom. Which we should probably need a fandom.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
So that's another suggestion. Is if you guys ever wanted to go to the library, just let me know, and I'll just print up things and I'll give them to you.
You get a book, and here's what it's.
Yeah, exactly. Because that would be much quicker.
You did that in our first campaign a little bit.
A little bit. So yeah, I think that's all of them. Because Narnip is a rock gnome rogue, arcane trickster. That's you. You're done. Yeah, I think that's other than the world itself. That's the homebrew character stuff. Yeah, and I think that's kind of a good ending point. You?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down.
All right.
We have made dinner, and it's been sitting upstairs for 2 hours now.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you did, consider giving us a follow on Twitch. If you do already, consider, sending our Twitch link somebody's way that might enjoy what we're watching, or what you're watching, rather, and what we're creating here as well.
Yeah.
You can find our all of our backlog of our episodes on YouTube. Same name, Roll4 Revelry with the number 4. Check us out on Twitter. We're pretty active on Twitter. We have a TikTok now, which are ridiculous clips from all of our games. Very bite-sized. Mostly Lindsay's reactions, but also some weird stuff like your...
I can't get the milk out of a sleeping man.
Yeah.
Well,
oh man,
you're right. Because
big face palm.
That would be. I'm happy that Marxus had said that.
No, that's great. I am too. That was amazing. Yeah. So if you enjoyed what you saw, and want to support us, consider those things. We will not in lieu of Father's Day. That doesn't make sense. In lieu of Father's Day? Yeah.
Instead of streaming on Father's Day.
There it is. Instead of streaming on Father's Day this Sunday, we will be skipping the week. We will be back next Sunday, which is, I don't know the date. At 2 p.m. Eastern Time is when we stream. Sundays, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And, check us out.
27th?
The 27th?
Is our next stream date?
Yeah, the 27th will be our next stream.
20th.
It's like
17th now. 19th, 17th, 18th tomorrow. 19th, Juneteenth. Saturday. Bless you. I'm a good husband.
Sunday.
Sunday would be the 20th. So then
27th.
27th.
So yes, we will be streaming 2 p.m. Eastern Time on the 27th. We'll be figuring out Marxus and his new crowning of
don't say
the
crown.
rat. You were crowned. It's a
Yeah.
coronation. The coronation
Coronation.
of the rat kingdom. The
Yeah.
the Rodarian kingdom.
Tell you what, I must change the spelling of the Myers right now.
Jeez.
It's first course of action.
First thing, yeah. So yeah, please check us out. And otherwise, have an excellent weekend. Have an excellent Father's Day or Parents' Day. If you are a father figure, or any parent at all, thank you very much for what you do, and make sure those other people thank you as well.
Yeah. Don't accept any ties.
Yeah.
Ties are for losers, unless you like ties, in which
Yeah.
case, enjoy your things.
I'm not gonna kink shame, so. Have a great week. Thank you guys.
Bye.